Hello out there, and welcome back to Beacon Pines. I'm Eric with Perspective Gaming, and we knocked out an adult while hiding in a secret basement under our house. So let's find out what Gran is up to.
The interrogation of Hiram Tolliver. Still unconscious, Mr. Tolliver slumped heavily in a shoddy old chair. His hands were bound with rope, his feet tied with some loose string. The kids huddled in a circle, discussing their plan. One thing was certain, they couldn't just let Mr. Tolliver go.
I haven't been checking the page numbers. I'm curious if those have any rhyme or reason to them.
They needed to know what he was doing in Luca's house. After some deliberation, it was decided.
They'd run the classic good cop, blank cop interrogation. I feel like them trying to go hard is going to be very funny.
They'd run the classic good cop, hard cop interrogation. Rollo brandished a steely gaze. I've got this. Read about it 100 times. Rollo swaggered past the chair which propped up the slumping Hiram Tolliver. Without even looking at his captive, he began with a long, blustery drawl.
Well, Mr. Tolliver.
Mr. Tolliver remained motionless. Rollo spun around to face him. He'd clearly expected to rouse Mr. Tolliver with his booming voice.
Mr. Tolliver?
Beck and Luca gave each other an unsure glance.
We killed him. He's dead.
Rollo slammed his fist on the table.
I said, Mr. Tolliver!
He grabbed the table lamp and beamed it onto the unconscious face.
Oh, that
Mr.
kind
Tolliver
of beamed.
groaned and slowly lifted his head.
I thought he hit him with, I thought beamed.
He recoiled with a muddled, weary squint.
What in the world?
The chair wobbled as he attempted to straighten up.
Who? Who's there?
Mr. Tolliver could only make out rough shapes through the glaring light. With a gruff tone, Rollo hoped to both conceal his voice and intimidate.
I'll be asking the questions here, punk. Now hold on, let's just calm down. Oh, I am calm. Calm as a carrot in dirt. As for you, looks like you're
The
sweating.
doubtful expression on Beck
I'm
and Luca's
guessing this is
faces
a bad
transformed
ending.
into awe.
The doubtful expression on Beck and Luca's face transformed into awe. I'm betting this was a bad choice, but it's funny. We can do this my way, or... Well, let's just say I've never needed another
Rollo,
way.
hitting his stride, was now channeling every detective trope his memory could recall. He slammed the table again.
Now dance! What? I don't even...
Mr. Tolliver's voice became desperate. He was nearly in tears.
You've tied me down. How on earth could I even dance? Dance with your mouth, punk. Spill the beans. What are you doing poking around this house? I'm here to help Juniper. To make sure everything's ready. Oh, so you're in cahoots with Gran? Gran?
Mr. Tolliver was in a daze, now more confused than ever.
Gonna help her blow up the festival, huh? Blow up the festival? Good
He shook
lord!
his head, feeling more and more dizzy.
No, you've got it all wrong. Where is she now? She's headed to the source. Source? What's the source? It's
His
where
voice faded to a whisper.
the town began. Where it all began. What is Operation Sparkplug?
With that, Mr. Tolliver passed out cold.
We killed him.
Rollo swung around with a repentant grimace.
Damn, Rollo. I think you went a little too hot on him. Also, where was the good cop in that scenario? What did he say about the source? It's where the town began? We need information. Yeah, but we'd better not push Mr. Tolliver any further. Is there anyone who might know more? What about the History Museum? It's just got set up for the festival. Nah, the tent was put up by the Valentines. Everything they do is a bunch of fluff to glorify from Flelvth. Is there anything more reliable? The library? If there's information about this source thing, Cato can help us. Let's get some answers. Oh, that was a scene transition. They didn't want me walking there today. Anything new here?
There were rarely simply...
I know. Chair in way. Control's feeling weird today. I can't even talk to... Wow, this is a weird path. I guess I'll check up here really quick. There shouldn't be anything new. I think I have all the hidden words. This is a dang nice library. Thanks, we work hard on it. Aren't you a little young to be a librarian? Oh, Cato hung out here so much eventually they gave him a set of keys. I just keep an eye on the place for Mr. Novak sometimes. Miss Novak. They got you working for free? It's quiet and I get access to all the books I can read. What more could a person want? Fair enough. What can I do for you? We need a favor. I already told you and Rollo. I can't put you any higher on the wait list for the next Hank Atomic. And if you're here with more candy, I'll have you know I can't be bought. Call it a personal code of conscience. Actually, we're looking to do some research. Now you're speaking my language. What are you looking for? That's the thing, we sort of don't know. What do you got on the history of the town? There's a county record archives. What's in those? Births, deaths, newspaper clippings, stuff like that. Pretty boring reading. But they do go all the way back to when the town was founded. Great, we'll start there.
Chapter 8.
Okay, quick turnaround. We made the right call.
6 feet under, 3 towns over. The kids spent the rest of the afternoon combing through dusty piles of old county records.
I'll bury you.
Desperately searching for
6
anything
feet
that
over.
could help them make sense of Mr. Tolliver's cryptic utterance. Luca tried to shake the thought of Gran's basement, but his focus wavered. Explosives, messages hidden in jam, dossiers on various town figures, and a corkboard threaded with photos. Gran was the only family he had left. He still couldn't bring himself to believe the worst. But the old map with the symbol of explosives in town square made that difficult. As the sun began to set, the kids were no closer to the truth.
If I have to read any more of these records, my eyeballs are gonna pop. We have to keep digging. If I dig another word, I'm gonna end up in one of those asinine death records. Rollo Cotter lived a full and wonderful life till he read so much boring crud that his brain oozed out his ears.
Rollo shut his book with an assertive nod.
If you got a better idea, spit it out. You sound like my sister. Keep pushing your luck, pal. And it won't be boring country records that kill you. I'll put you in the obituaries myself.
Rollo muttered under his breath.
You're a county record. Really? That's the best? Whoa! Really? That's the best you got? When I'm done with you, you'll be a footnote in history. Just like...
Beth slammed her finger down on the open page before glancing down to read.
J. Hartford here. I'd love to see you try. Hey. We're all a little tired here. Let's just take a minute and...
Something tickled the back of Luca's mind.
Wait, what was that name, Beck? In the obit, J. Hartford. From the Bookville Tribune 8 years ago. That can't be right. What is it? J. Hartford? That's my grand's name, Juniper Hartford. All right. Maybe there were 2 J. Hartfords. Ms. Hartford is survived by her young daughter, E. Hartford. My mom's name is Eleanor. Okay, this is getting creepy. If your gran is 6 feet under, 3 towns over, then who am I living with?
The question hung in the air.
All right, gang, I gotta close up for the night.
Beck rubbed her eyes.
How late is it? Almost 10. Oh crap, Pa's gonna kill me. I gotta go. Yeah, my parents will be worried sick. Okay, let's meet up as early as we can at the festival tomorrow. What are you gonna do about the unconscious man in your... What are you gonna do about the unconscious man in your basement? I'll think of something.
Luca's heart was pounding as he approached the house. If he was lucky, Gran, or whoever it was, hadn't gotten back yet. And of course, there was Mr. Tolliver tied up and unconscious in the basement. Dealing with him would be the first order of business. Luca shook out his arms to calm his nerves before entering. He held perfectly still, tempering his breath, and listened closely. She was asleep. His only hope was that she hadn't found Mr. Tolliver before dozing off.
So I wonder, this might be a stretch, but we know we've got time goop that makes you age rapidly. I am wondering if Gran is mom aged up by the stuff, and she just decided to be easier to pretend to be someone else than to have to explain what happened. I don't know, it seems both kind of reasonable and kind of extreme. So I don't know. We'll see. Oh no.
Mr. Tolliver was nowhere to be seen.
Maybe he woke up, escaped from his bindings, and left without a trace.
Or maybe Gran knew everything.
It could be both. What do I do?
Luca's hungry stomach groaned. Not realizing it, he'd gone the entire day without eating.
Okay, I can figure this out. Just need a little brain food.
Luca rushed over to the pile of jam jars, unscrewed one, and shoveled a handful into his mouth.
That's an odd choice. I'm afraid your jam delivery will be delayed.
He flipped the lid to read the label.
Mr. Nuncreed. Okay, now I can think. That's bad. This is all bad. So if Gran knows we tied up Mr. Tolliver, I'm screwed. If she doesn't know, then I need to play it cool. I guess the only option is to go to bed and act as if nothing is wrong. Gran will think Mr. Tolliver finished what he was sent to do and left when he was done. Things are bad. This was a stupid choice. I don't know why I ate that food. Because the stuff she's giving to Mr. Nuncreed is almost certainly going to be the worst stuff. Because he's a creep. Gran? Okay, stick to the plan. Go to bed and play it cool.
As Luca climbed the final stair, the emotion of the day dragged heavily on him. With each consecutive step, his legs weakened. His stride began to falter. He tried to grab for the railing to steady himself. Something was wrong.
Come on, legs. Just a few more steps.
Luca groaned and tried to move.
Yeah, she poisoned you by trying to poison Mr. Nuncreed.
His limbs might as well have been bolted to the ground. Through numb lips, he mumbled just before falling asleep.
The germ. Sweet boy. What did you get yourself into? Rest now and let me handle everything.
Chapter 9.
Didn't make a choice that chapter.
To end all speeches. Luca awoke to find himself face down in bed. He moaned into his pillow. Why would Gran drug him?
Well, it wasn't intentional.
Or rather, why was she trying to drug Mr. Nuncreed?
Because he's a pervert and a creep.
Shaking the questions from his woozy head, Luca snapped back to the matter at hand.
Ooh, the festival. I don't think this is going to end well. We learned a lot, but this probably endeth badly. Where have you been? Graham put something in the jam. Yeah, we know. Secret messages for secret conspirators. Not this one. The one intended for Mr. Nuncreed put me to sleep. Whoa ho ho. Sly devil. Got a word. That's a real good sign that I died. I think she's trying to remove him from the equation. He might be in danger. Have you found anything? We looked around, but we haven't seen anything odd. Your Gran is nowhere to be found. But Mr. Nuncreed's just loafing around waiting for the speech. What speech? Mayor Gus got up to the podium. Everyone is gathering at the stage. Let's get moving. Oh, it's a panoply of
Augustus Valentine nervously wiped his
panoply
brow.
of cute characters. Even our fortune teller is here. Ahem. Is this thing? Hello, Beacon Pines. I'm Augustus Valentine, your mayor, and I suppose you already know that. Oh yes, before we get started, I just wanted to take a moment to recognize someone who couldn't be here today. This town wouldn't be where it is today without my father, Sharper Valentine. So I thought we could begin with a round of applause befitting such a great man. Even that's more than the old codger
Gus
deserved.
cleared his throat and awkwardly loosened his tie.
Right, where was I?
William Kerr bounded on the stage with the energy of a preacher at a big tent revival.
Gus Valentine,
He
everyone.
gave Gus a hearty slap on the back and motioned him off the stage.
Let's hear it for our mayor. What a great turnout. Oh, heck, I didn't prepare anything. But I suppose I could say a few words. Would be a shame to waste such a beautiful podium.
Mr. Kerr pulled a thick stack of note cards out from his vest.
Community, conviction, commitment. These are the things we celebrate at Perennial Harvest. For us, these are the pillars of a bridge to a better tomorrow. But I think it's time to add a new pillar. Change. Change is a powerful thing. It's inexorable, unavoidable, and undeniable. And I am dadgum thankful for it. Change is the reason we're all together today. It's hard for me to believe it was only 4 years ago when fate brought me here. A simple business trip which brought me to a small town which would change my life
Mr.
forever.
Kerr took a moment to survey the crowd.
You know what?
He wiped away a single tear.
I didn't mean to skip that, sorry. From the second I set foot in Beacon Pines, something about this place held me captive. A giant block of ice that's going to freeze us all in place. You see, change represents opportunity. It represents potential. It was change that helped me recognize the potential of this place. To see that the people of this town, desperate, suffering a great loss, still held on to the things that made them special.
He thumped the podium to emphasize each word.
Community, conviction, commitment, change.
Mr. Kerr nodded confidently, biting his lip. The crowd was silent, in rapt attention.
Fate made a perfect match that day. Nothing is more important to you all than community. And Perennial Harvest is a community first and foremost.
Mr. Kerr methodically made eye contact with each section of the crowd.
The only way you made it through Foul Harvest was an unshakable conviction. A conviction that a better tomorrow was just over the horizon. Perennial Harvest was founded on the conviction that we are that horizon. This festival is a symbol of our commitment to each other.
His voice began to build to a crescendo.
We now walk hand in hand to a future we will shape together. And that is what change is all about. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. And and I'm tickled pink that we will all be making that choice together. How great is that? Just imagine what we can accomplish. What was that?
The crowd began to look around nervously.
Don't worry, a little thunder isn't going to ruin this day. Everyone remain
Mr.
calm.
Kerr quickly flicked through his note cards.
Where was I? Through all my travels, I have learned one true thing. One always reaps what they sow, and ironic statements never lead to punishments immediately thereafter. We've all planted a lot of good in this town, and so it is with a happy heart I can proclaim...
He raised his hands up to the heavens.
Our harvest away!
At that moment, a merciless wall of impossibly cold air ripped through the crowd, instantly freezing everyone and everything it touched. For a man like William Kerr, this was a fitting way for things to end. On a stage, with an entire town frozen in rapt attention for the rest of time. The end.
There's that ice again! Whenever I think we're getting close, it comes along and ruins everything. Maybe we should just quit? Maybe you should just close the book, walk away, and never think of me again.
That's a little harsh.
No, I don't mean that. We got a little closer this time. We just need to try again, please.
We got plenty of choices left to make. Oh, Sly we can also use there. I would have guessed it was here. Oh, we still can't do anything with Windows to the Soul yet. Okay. So we can either try that again with either Sly or Chill, or we can refuse to drop them, which I should do given the pattern I've been taking of always doing different ones. Yeah, so I will. Luca had no choice but to blank Iggy's request. Refuse!
Luca had
Be a
no
hero!
choice but to refuse Iggy's request. He tightened his grip and reached for the walkie-talkie in his pocket. A wild delight crept onto Mr. Kerr's face. That's a good lad. Now, radio for help. Iggy begged Luca with his eyes one last time, but Luca pressed the button and called out.
Iggy, quickly kick Mr. Kerr off so we can't save him.
We need help. Mr. Kerr is in danger. It wasn't long before they were once again surrounded by clipboards. Mr. Kerr sighed with relieved frustration. There you are. You really are a worthless lot, aren't you? Mirror, now. A clipboard dutifully produced an ornate ivory hand mirror, and Mr. Kerr began preening his tousled hair. Ah, that's better. Mr. Van Horn, I applaud your sharp thinking under duress. I'll put in a good word for you with the founder. Take them away. A swarm of hands overpowered Luca. The last thing he saw before a cloth bag was pulled over his head was the defeated look on Iggy's face. The end.
Really? Those are both endings. Okay. I thought that one of those might go on a little further than they did.
I think this was one of those times where doing the right thing was the wrong thing.
I mean, doing the wrong thing was also the wrong thing. So we need to find more words through these paths that'll help us figure out something to do here. Maybe. I'm betting Chill is also a quick loss then, since Sly we had to do hard to unlock that. So I'll try Chill first and see if we can just knock out a bunch of shorter endings.
They'd run the classic good cop, chill cop interrogation.
Voice actor couldn't read that without smiling. I'll handle this. Just gotta play it cool. Okay,
Luca
so the
walked
three different choices are
calmly to
which
the light
kid
switch,
deals with it.
flicking it off
Cute.
and on a few times. Mr.
Nosferatu.
Tolliver shook his head, gathering his wits.
Golly, I sure got my bell wrong.
He looked over to find Luca, who returned a calming grin.
Sorry, Mr. Tolliver. This was all a big mistake. Luca, what's going on here? Why do you have me strapped down? No one's fault, really. Rollo just got a little startled. Rollo's here?
Rollo and Beck emerged from hiding to give a timid wave.
Well, all right. Mistakes happen. You kids gave whole Hiram a good scare. Let's just get me out of these ropes and call it even.
Luca glanced over to Rollo and Beck, who replied with skeptical looks.
Mr. Tolliver, why are you in my grand's basement? I'm here to help, of course. Help with what? What's my gran up to? If you just cut me loose, I can show you. How do I know I can trust you?
Mr. Tolliver exhaled with disappointment.
Luca, have I ever done wrong by you? No. And since your gran moved to town, haven't I been nothing but welcoming? Yeah. So why would I turn my back on your family now? It's just, all this stuff seems pretty weird. A board with names of people from town, an archive of my dad's old disturbing patient notes.
Luca gestured to the corner.
Barrels of explosives? I can explain everything. You just need to untie me so I can snap your tiny little neck. You kids deserve an explanation.
Luca looked again to Rollo and Beck.
Rollo and Beck?
This time they shrugged. Luca began to slowly loosen the bindings. Mr. Tolliver gently rubbed his wrists.
That's a good lad. This all makes sense in
He
time.
edged imperceptibly toward the stairs.
Yeah, that was real
as he
imperceptible.
spoke.
You see, this town has secrets, Luca. A very dark past indeed.
Before the kids had even noticed his movement, Mr. Tolliver was at the light switch.
A past that must be
He
brought
punctuated his
to...
final words by flicking the switch and rushing up the stairs.
Light! Bitch!
Beck darted to the wall and turned back on the lights. It was too late. Rollo confirmed what they all heard.
He just locked us down
Mr.
here.
Tolliver's muffled voice came from behind the door.
I wasn't lying, you know. This is for your own good. You kids just keep tight down there and let the adults
They
handle
looked
this. And
bewildered at each other.
definitely not get frozen in a block of ice, leaving you to starve to death in a basement. Play it cool, huh? Not now, Beck.
They heard the staccato thump of quick steps exiting the house. The kids looked down in resignation. This isn't how it goes in Hank Atomic. For some reason, they'd always assumed it was up to them to save their town. Luca opened his mouth, hoping to conjure some magical words to make this right. Only a hollow croak escaped. The end. Well, we certainly aren't going to find a grand resolution to our tale locked in a basement. Back to the drawing board.
No words, though. I was hoping to get at least some words. All right, one last attempt. Sly cop.
They'd run the classic good cop, sly cop interrogation.
So assumably that means Beck is
Luca
going to do
and
the
Rollo
thing.
ducked behind a barrel, leaving Beck
Yep.
to her task.
Cute.
With a few crisp snaps, she roused Mr. Tolliver.
What? What's going on here? You're that Mudwell girl. Please, call me Beck. Sorry about all
Mr.
this.
Tolliver looked down and shifted a bit, testing his restraints.
It seems there's been a mix-up. You see, I'm down here for the same reason you are. Juniper sent you
Beck
here?
caught herself before letting the surprise manifest on her face. She'd already gotten him to reveal his relation to Gran. This was gonna be easy.
You know how Juniper is with her precautions. Operation Sparkplug has us all on edge. I guess you thought you might need some backup. But she sent a child? What better way to avoid prying eyes? Who would suspect a kid? I suppose that makes
Mr.
sense.
Tolliver wriggled a bit in his restraints.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Beck quickly removed the ropes.
That had to be uncomfortable. A little, yeah. Also, why was I tied up if you were here to help me? But you understand. We never know who to trust in this
Mr.
town.
Tolliver rubbed the growing knot on his forehead.
Very true. So it turns out we're both here
Beck
to
twirled her hand, as if to prompt Mr. Tolliver to finish her thought.
destroy the evidence.
Beck shook her head and clicked her tongue.
Yep, the old gal is nothing if not thorough.
Mr. Tolliver let out an amused huff in agreement.
She sure is. Can't blame her, though. If anyone were to find out that we were going to destroy the source, well, we both know how bad that might be. No one will know anything once I finish cleaning things up down here.
Beck was on a roll now, playing Mr. Tolliver like a fiddle.
You're sure you can finish this up on your own? Juniper trusted me for a reason. You can leave the rest to me. Good. There's one more loose end I'll go work on. Snaps neck. Loose end? Oh, it's nothing, really. The other day I had the radio on scan while restocking the candy shelf, and wouldn't you know it, he thought you were the candy man. And wouldn't you know it, I intercepted an odd phrase in a perennial harvest transmission. Underground secrets. That's ominous. I think it might be a password, but Juniper dismissed it. Said it wasn't mission critical. What's the password for? We don't know. So they have a password and know where to put it? It's gotta mean something, right? Good thinking. You should probably go work on that. I've got this under control. That's a relief. Between you and me, this basement gives me the willies.
Heading for the stairs, Mr. Tolliver hesitated and turned to Beck with a puzzled look. She grinned and gave him a peppy wave. With a shrug, he continued up the stairs, whistling a jaunty tune.
You guys catch that? Sure did. This whole time, Mr. Tolliver's had a candy shelf. But all he ever sells is his apples.
Beck blinked slowly in disappointment.
The password, Rollo. Well, sure, but once things are back to normal, I'll be having a word with Mr. Tolliver about that candy shelf. Fine. In the meantime, I got an idea.
She turned to the table and began tearing small scraps of paper.
He said he heard a password on the radio. Any good spy transmission is never what it seems.
Beck marked each scrap of paper and leaned back.
We just need to find the hidden meaning. Okay. What's another word for underground? Buried, covered. Could it be a cover-up? Maybe it's one of those each letters is a number thingies. So U would be 21, N would be 14, D would be... Oh! It's an anagram! Nuncreed's drugstore.
Luca and Beck looked at Rollo with amazement.
Rollo, that was incredible. Well, it's either that or Krend Node's rug store. Yeah, I think you were right the first time. How did you do that? What can I say? I love ciphers. Well, I guess we know where to go next. It turns out the only person holding back all of their investigations is Luca. The other two are more than competent. You scared me half to death. Sorry. You kids haven't seen Mr. Tolliver around, have you? Nope. Got me waiting around like a last slice of pie. I swear that man would be late to his own funeral. That's just the lean, right? Yeah, that's just the cool guy lean. You're late, Augustus. Sorry, sister. Was caught up with work. Work? You? I had a few more details to lock down for the festival. Oh? What do you have to report? What is this Insipid Town Festival really about? I think
Gus looked around nervously.
Mr. Kerr really does just want to do something good for the town. He's actually a pretty nice guy. You should spend some time with him. I didn't pull strings installing you as mayor so that you could make friends. Your job is to help me figure out what Kerr and Perennial Harvest's true intentions are with this town. We have a responsibility. This is our father's town. Was. Excuse me. This was our father's town. He's gone, Eris, and he isn't coming back. Father left us with nothing but problems. Mr. Kerr came here and offered to help us. We accepted that help. We didn't agree to them turning Father's warehouse into a toxic dumping ground. That's just a temporary arrangement. The glow can be seen from our damned backyard. They're dumping their nasty little secrets on us. When this all goes inevitably wrong, who do you think will be blamed?
Eris's cry hung in the air.
She has such a long muzzle and such a short mouth. I know that's a weird thing to observe, but it just, wow. We have no choice, a new choice to make now. Wow, we have a new choice to make now, sister. Why do you refer to her as sister so much? That makes it sound weird. Anyone who refers to their family members as like, yes, sister, or indeed mother, all the time, that's not good. This town is going to change, whether we like it or not. Are we going to choose to be a part of that future, or be forgotten in the past? It's a shame. Father named you Augustus, but you will always be just Gus. Good night, Eris. I'll see you at breakfast tomorrow. It's getting late, children. All right. Little exploration just to make sure. No! Come back, Dawn! Knowledge, he spat with a sneer. There exists a gulf between knowing something and being able to do a damn thing about it. Humph. I do hate when a villain makes a good point. Yeah, let me explore. Oh, the whole family's out tonight.
Solomon stood proudly at the entrance to the drugstore, holding a brown bag overflowing with black licorice.
Hey, Solomon? We're looking for Mr. Nuncreed. Is he still in there? I'm afraid not. Then where'd you get the candy from? You might say we have an arrangement.
Solomon shoveled a surprising amount of licorice into his mouth.
Sometimes it's the small pleasures in life. Though we might not always be a family to rely on. Licorice has never let me down. Well, I can't say licorice would be my first choice, but whatever floats your boat. You can tell a lot about a person by their choice of confection. Oh, yeah, I guess. I like sour gobs. I'm certain you do. I always wondered why Mr. Nuncreed kept licorice in stock. You must eat enough of it to make it worthwhile. There are many ways to earn loyalty. For some, it's as easy as cold hard cash. And I guess I leave without saying so much as goodbye. Well, he's right, it's locked. There's gotta be more clues. Okay, let's see. It won't let me leave. Okay. I mean, I know. I do know. I want to make sure I don't miss words. I don't think I have any more hidden words because I got all the fishing ones, but I'm not certain. Have you ever seen anyone actually use this thing? Besides Mr. Nuncreed, no.
Beck cupped her hands on the glass to peek inside.
That's not a normal phone booth. It's got like a blinky keypad. Why would there be a blinky keypad? Creed's new drugstore! I mean, underground secrets! The password!
Beck flung open the door, and they all squeezed in.
So was it just a coincidence that it was an anagram of Nuncreed's drugstore, or was that all intentional? Did they hide a secret that pointed to a place where the secret was? All right, let's see here.
Luca cracked his knuckles and entered the letters into the keypad.
Underground secrets. Sounds like that did something. Poison gas fills the chamber. Great, now what? I guess we
The side of the phone booth dropped loose from its shell. Without even the space to panic, they closed their eyes, held their breath, and accepted their fate.
It's written like an ending, but it's not written as an ending.
Suddenly, the chaotic descent slowed to an effortless landing. It was unclear where they ended up, but at least it was solid ground. The air was stagnant and smelled vaguely of chlorine.
All right, we know who the person was. There's a broken, hopefully I remember to zoom in on it. There's a broken face mask, which was what we learned about, which was how we escaped, was we broke the face mask. So Nuncreed was the one who kidnapped us in the first one. I knew it. You knew there was a secret hub full of strange tubes under the phone booth? Of course I did. Didn't I say that? No. I definitely thought it. Luca, do you remember when I said how cool it would be if the trans-dimensional conduits from Hank Atomic issue 12 were real? Rollo, at one point or another, you've said that about every technology ever discussed in Hank Atomic. That's why I'm such a good predictor. It looks like each of these has something written on them. This suit has a broken mask. So have we found a mysterious warehouse creeper? We've at least found their hazmat suit. If it walks like a Nuncreed and talks like a Nuncreed, let's not jump to any conclusions. Just saying. Valentine Fertilizer Warehouse. Isn't that where you almost got snatched? Yeah? Why would a perennial harvest have a tube going to an old Valentine place? This is starting to feel like something big. Perennial Harvest main office. That's where my mom works. What does she do? Science stuff? Is she involved in all this? We just moved here. How could she be involved? True. Mining Operations Alpha. You guys have mines here? Not any that I know of. This town's all farms and fertilizers. And a series of tubes. Pa always says you can only trust a miner up to the point when they hit gold. Not sure how that wisdom applies in this exact situation. That's the thing about Pa. You don't always realize what he means until it's too late. That's a lot of buttons. Stand aside, Earthlings. I've read enough Hank Atomic to know my way around sci-fi
Rollo's
tech.
hands hovered over the field of blinking buttons.
Eeny, meeny, miny. Oh, they're pneumatic tubes. Rollo, what did you do? Nothing. I didn't even mow yet. What is that? Hide. Where? There's nothing but weird tubes down here. Just get back. Shit. 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 Awesome. You all need to come with me now. We aren't going anywhere with you. Not until we got some answers. Mr. Underground Secrets. I told them it was an absurd password. But they love anything that makes them feel clever. They who? That's no matter. If I can help you keep you hidden until after the festival, I might be able to save your skins. We don't care about our skins. Hold on now, I like my skin. This all stops now, Nuncreed.
Joseph waited for a moment in silence.
You sound just like him. Who? Walt. You don't get to talk about my dad. I know your father and I were friends. You know, my father and I were friends back before.
He gestured toward the strange tubes.
All of this. That's a lie. It's true. I used to bounce you on my knee. I hate this pervert. What happened? Same thing that always happens. Reality, complications, life. We were a team, Walt and I. Idealistic doctor and a bright-eyed pharmacist. Both hell-bent on helping folks. So you were his sidekick? No. We were partners. He helped the patients and I helped him. Yep, total sidekick.
Nuncreed let out a growl of a sigh.
Luca, I need you to know this. I need someone to know this. One day, Sharper Valentine comes to us. Says he's got an opportunity. He'd found something he didn't quite understand. He was willing to pay us both handsomely to help him understand it. So my dad said no. Your father and I both believed in helping people. The thing I could never get him to understand was it's a lot easier to help others if you help yourself now and then. Classic sidekick to villain plot. Classic sidekick into villain plot line. Walt loved being righteous, almost more than he loved his family. He was wrong about one thing, though. When he begged me not to take Valentine's offer, he said, Joseph, if a person says yes at one time to Sharper Valentine, he'll make sure they keep on saying yes to him until he's dead and gone.
He shook his head wistfully.
Sharper's long gone, but he's still got me saying yes. Is there a point to this sob story? Not really, no. Just an old man trying to delay what needs doing.
Nuncreed took
Snaps
a menacing
neck.
step towards the children.
I tried to keep you safe. I tried to keep you and Juniper out of this. But you forced my hand.
Luca began to laugh.
What? You really don't know. My granny isn't out of this. She's been scheming right under your nose. Juniper. Seems like she's planning on crashing the town's party. She's going to disrupt the festival. Why would she?
The color drained from Nuncreed's face.
Not that you could see it under his fur. How does she know? Apparently she knows a lot of things. What? Let's just say she isn't the only. This isn't the only underground lair we've busted into today. And honestly, hers is way cooler. She's got maps and explosives and bad intentions, big man.
Nuncreed grabbed Luca by the shoulders. His eyes were frantic.
You need to tell me what she's going to do right now. She doesn't understand what she's messing with. Tell me now, she's in danger, boy. I don't know. She had a map with a mark in the fountain in town square. The fountain, but why
A
would...
jolt of realization struck Mr. Nuncreed.
She knows about the source? What the heck is the source? If she tries to destroy the source, it could catalyze and... Dear God, she's going to freeze us all. I lost his accent so much. Floppy ears, floppy ears, floppy ears. You all need to run. Run where? Away. As far away from this town as you can get. Head west and don't look back. That did not go how I expected. So... We're totally following him, right? Totally. See you on the other side. Ow. You good? Yep. Ow. I love this town.
Chapter 8.
Thanks for joining me, everybody. Hope you're enjoying this. I'm having a good time. Things are starting to come together. I bet we've only got a couple more episodes left. So, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!